For part B of this assessment, I designed two learning experiences based on the developmental needs to identified in part A of Finn's case study. Finn is a 5 years old child who demonstrates strong expressive and narrative language skills, particularly through storytelling and play-based learning. However, observation across home and kindergarten contexts also indicate challenges in flexible social communication and emerging literacy, especially when negotiating rules, adapting language during peer interaction, and connecting later. Therefore, this assessment could focus on supporting Finn's language development with particular attention to narrative skills, social communication, and early literacy. The learning objectives were developed using Bloom taxonomy to ensure progression from the lower order to high order thinking. Verbs such as identify and explain align with Finn's strengths in expressive language and storytelling. Higher order verbs such as apply and reflect were intentionally selected to extend and his ability to use language flexible in social contexts. This approach reflected the view and language is foundational to children's thinking, learning, and communication in the early years. The objectives are observation, developmentally appreciate, and the directly informed by the learning periods identified in Part A. Both learning experiences are informed by age ways of learning in indigenous pedagogy, particularly story sharing, learning through symbols and images, learning through land and non-linear knowledge construction. This pedagogy lies strong with Finn's interest in the storytelling, construction, and hands-on exploration rather than positioning, learning a layer or teacher direction. The experiences allow Finn to construction understanding through play, narrative, and collaboration by embedding First Nation knowledge in meaningful ways. The planning supports culturally responsive pedagogy while also promoting his holistic language development. The first learning experiences focus on story sharing and visual mapping to support Finn's narrative language development. In a small group setting, the educator reads stream stories such as Tiddalik the Frog. Children then draw or symbolically represent key moments from the story. Finn is supported to explain his draw using oral language and temporal phase such as first, then, and in the end. The experiences support Bloom's levels of remembering and understanding and reflects indigenous ways of learning through storytelling and symbolic representation. The second learning experiences take place outdoor and involves collaboration construction using loose natural materials. During this activity, the educator intentionally models language for the turn talking, negotiation, and problem solving. Using phrases such as what could we try instead or how can we make this fair for everyone, Finn is also encouraged to reflect on what worked and what could change. This experience aligns with higher levels of Bloom taxonomy, particularly applied and reflected. By supporting Finns to use language in dynamic social contexts, together those two learning experiences support Finn in achieving instant and learning objectives by strengthening his confidence, engagement, and language flexibility. Overall, the assessment demonstrates how intentional curriculum design, grounded in indigenous pedagogy and informed by developmental theory, can effectively support children's learning in early childhood setting.